All right, I think I'm live. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Let's see here. No, don't want to do that. Second, give me a second, everybody. Don't want to do that. Stay on page. Little technical. Here we go. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. All right. Good evening from Dallas, Texas, and welcome to Codings Talk Livestream, coming to you from the GPA-Midstream Technical Conference. I'm right here in the heart of one of the most influential gatherings in the midstream world, surrounded by engineers, inspectors, operators, innovators, and problem solvers who are keeping energy moving across North America. Today isn't just another broadcast. This is a front row seat to the conversations that are shaping the future of the midstream integrity, from coatings and corrosion control to materials, data, and the technologies that are redefining how we protect critical infrastructure. So if you work in the field, if you work in the shop, if you work in the lab or a boardroom, what happens here in Dallas has a direct impact on your projects, your decisions, and your bottom line. And let's be honest, midstream assets don't get easier to maintain. Environments are harsher, regulations are tighter, expectations are higher, and the margin for error is really tight. That's why this conference matters, and it's why this community really matters. And it's why I'm here to bring clarity, practical insight, and real-world experience to the challenges of the energy pipeline sector that encounters every day. So over this live stream, I want to dive into a couple topics that operators and technicians are talking about today. Actually, today I had a couple conversations. And a lot of it is focused around pipeline coating, integrity, field joint performance, anything from in-service repairs, digital corrosion monitoring, workforce readiness, and the innovations that are really catching everyone's attention. I'm also looking this week to pull in voices really from this technical conference, and this is more related to this week as a technical conference is focused on committees and work groups and things like that for GPA-Midstream. So what I'm really trying to look is to pull a lot of this information from people just to really kind of understand exactly, where things, what's working for the pipeline industry, what's not working, and really what's coming down the pipeline, what's coming next. So, wherever you're joining me, please settle in. This Codings Talk Live is, again, from Dallas, and we're about to get into some real conversations. I got 3 subjects I want to cover, so it'll be kind of a shorter conversation this evening, but I felt I wanted to go live and talk about a couple of things. So first off, I have to say thank you to Apelix Drone Solutions for powering this particular live stream and Codings Talk live stream so far in 2026. They are awesome when it comes to their new spray painting drone. In fact, on Friday, May 1st in Jacksonville, Florida, they're going to be having their demo day of the spray painting drone. And it's going to be a blast in Jacksonville. So please go to apelix.com, and check out the blog, and you can see where you can sign up to participate in that particular open house. The first topic I want to cover is a big talking point that I've been encountering a lot, and that's related to the high voltage lines in the United States. And this deals with the high voltage lines being reconductored. And with the reconductoring that's going to be going on, how it's going to impact buried pipelines, which really, when you look at the right-of-ways for high voltage, pipelines are running literally right near, adjacent, or underneath of the transmission towers. So this is really one of the biggest challenges when it comes to integrity that's emerging across the midstream sector right now. And let me talk a little bit about what's going on. So utilities are upgrading transmission lines now to really move more power, to push more power but also integrate any of the renewables and also increase the grid capacity. But the part that doesn't really get a lot of attention and mention out in the news are when these lines get reconductored, the electrical environment around nearby pipelines, it changes, sometimes dramatically. Even though the towers and the poles never move an inch. So for pipeline operators, that means one thing, that their coating systems, their existing coating systems on those pipelines, and also their cathodic protection systems, they're suddenly now playing defense in really a new game called reconductoring. So I want to break down the three big areas of concern. The first area is elevated AC induction on buried pipelines. When utilities install higher capacity conductors, current flow increases. The more current means stronger electromagnetic fields, and these fields induce voltage onto parallel pipelines. If the coating system has any defects in them, and sometimes holidays were detected a long time ago, and they were deemed not to be problematic based on the current grid system. These small holidays, some of them can be really kind of hard to detect. These spots will become AC corrosion hotspots with reconductoring. So we're talking about localized metal loss that could happen faster than many operators expect, especially in high receptivity soils. And this is where coating quality becomes mission critical. A strong, well-bonded, defect-free, nearly defect-free or defect-free coating is always your first line of defense against induced AC corrosion. The second area I want to talk about is cathodic protection disruption. Reconductoring doesn't just raise steady state AC levels. It can also shift grounding paths and fault current behavior. And that means that cathodic protection systems may no longer be operating in the same electrical environment that it was designed for years ago. So you can see fluctuating pipe to soil potentials, cathodic protection shielding effects, unexpected current drain, or cathodic protection systems that suddenly appear out of balance. Now, none of this necessarily means that the cathodic protection system is failing. It means that the environment changed. And reconductoring can turn a stable cathodic protection system into a moving target. The third area I want to talk about on this topic is stray current and fault current stress on the coating systems. So during reconductoring work, utilities may temporarily alter grounding. They'll energize equipment differently, or they'll create new current paths. Fault currents, even brief ones, can impose severe electrical stresses on pipeline coatings. If the coating's dielectric strength is exceeded, you can get despondment, you can get cracking, you can get pinholes, or complete coating breakdown at a holiday. So once that happens, the pipeline is exposed, and AC corrosion risk, it skyrockets. That's why mitigation planning matters. Grounding upgrades, gradient control mats, zinc ribbon, and optimized cathodic protection adjustments all play a role in keeping the pipeline safe during and after reconductoring. So what's the takeaway for operators? So reconductoring isn't just a utility project. It's a pipeline integrity event. If you're in a shared corridor, you need to be part of the conversation early. You need to validate coating conditions. You want to reassess your cathodic protection performance. You want to model AC interference, and you want to plan mitigation before the line is energized. And also monitor the pipeline during and after the upgrade. Because when the electrical environment changes, your coating and your cathodic protection systems have to adapt or they're going to get overwhelmed. So this is one of the most important cross-industry challenges that we're facing right now, and it's going to continue to increase. It's happening everywhere, from here in Texas to the Midwest to the Northeast. It's happening all over. Another topic I wanted to talk about that is a discussion that I had even today is digitization of corrosion management in pipeline sector. So this topic is kind of reshaping the entire pipeline sector. It's moving the digital transformation, the digitization of, especially related to corrosion management. Again, we're not talking buzzwords. It's not a trend. It's a structural shift that's occurring right now, and it will be coming. Operators monitor, maintain, and protect critical infrastructure across North America. And for decades, corrosion management has relied on periodic inspections, manual data collection, and a lot of institutional knowledge. And while that experience is invaluable, the industry right now is facing realities that demand a different approach. Aging assets, workforce turnover, tighter regulations, and a need for faster, more accurate decision making. So digitization is how we close those gaps. The move first is from reactive to predictive integrity management. So digital corrosion management starts with one core idea: stop reacting to corrosion, start predicting it. So with employing sensors, remote monitoring, and integrated data platforms, pipeline operators can now track cathodic protection system performance in real time, coating despondent indicators, AC interference levels, soil conditions and moisture cycles, and pipeline potentials and current demand. So instead of waiting for the next survey cycle, operators can now really change things as they see it happening. And that means earlier intervention, fewer surprises, and fewer emergency digs. And that's a huge cost savings across the board. Second aspect of this is the rise of continuous data and really what it means, especially for coatings. So pipeline coatings have always been really one of the first line of defenses. But digitization gives us something that we've never had before: continuous visibility into how coatings are performing underground. When you combine high-resolution coating surveys, smart pig data, cathodic protection monitoring, AC mitigation performance, and GIS-based integrity models, you get a living, evolving picture of the coating system's health across the entire system, across the entire pipeline network. And this helps operators really pinpoint where coatings are failing, where they're deteriorating, or where it's going to likely occur, which is very important. And this is super critical. Another area, last area on this with digitization, is integrating cathodic protection, coatings, and interference modeling. So one of the biggest advantages of digitization is the ability to integrate multiple data streams into a single integrity model. For example, you can tie in cathodic protection rectifier data, pipeline potentials, soil receptivity, coating conditions, AC interference modeling, fault current risk, and historical dig records. So when these data sets talk to each other, operators can identify patterns that were invisible before. And you can see where the cathodic protection is struggling because of maybe coating damage or some other issue. And you can see where AC interference is trending upward. You can see where reconductoring or new transmission lines are creating new electrical stresses. So digitization really turns isolated data points into actionable intelligence. I'd also layer on top of this, as AI continues to evolve, AI will become a bigger role player when it comes to digitization. and really making decisions when it comes to systems. Another aspect is that field technicians are going to become data-driven decision makers. And the shift isn't just about software. It's about empowering the people who work in the field, those corrosion technicians. And digital tools give technicians instant access to historical data, real-time cathodic protection readings, digital coding maps, mobile inspection workflows, automated reporting, and AI-assisted diagnostics as those come online. So instead of spending hours, compiling paperwork, the corrosion technicians can focus on what really matters, and that's making informed decisions that really protect the underground assets. Let me talk next about the future, autonomous integrity management. So where's all the stuff I just talked about? Where's it all heading towards? It's heading to where corrosion management becomes continuous, predictive, automatic, and integrity across the entire asset lifecycle. So imagine a pipeline where a coating defect is detected automatically through sensors, where cathodic protection adjustments happen dynamically, where AC interference it's monitored in real time, and where integrity teams receive alerts before the defect ever forms. And that's not science fiction. That's a direction where the industry is already moving, and digitization is the engine that's driving that. For my final topic, what I wanted to talk about is the urgent need for workforce development, especially in pipeline and corrosion integrity. This was another conversation that I had late last week. So let me just say, as I wrap up this to the live stream here from Dallas, so really what I want to do with this is close with the message that's bigger than coatings, it's bigger than cathodic protection, and bigger than any single technology. It's about the people. It's about the next generation of pipeline and corrosion integrity and professionals. Those are going to inherit the systems that we're working on today, the ones that we're trying to protect. So right now across North America, we're facing a reality that can't be ignored. Our industry is aging faster than it's being replenished. The corrosion technicians, the inspectors, the engineers, and the specialists, coating specialists who built the modern pipeline network when it comes to protection, those people with decades of field experience, they're retiring. And the bench behind them is becoming a little bit too thin. So this isn't a future problem, it's a right now problem. Every operator, every service company, every training organization is feeling the pressure. We need more coatings inspectors. We need more corrosion technicians. We need more cathodic protection professionals. And we need more integrity engineers. We need more people who understand and how to protect assets that run through every community, every region, and every economy. And here's the truth. Pipelines don't maintain themselves. I said it earlier. Corrosion doesn't slow down because we're short-staffed. Integrity doesn't wait for the next generation to show up. That's why workforce development has become a strategic priority for a lot of associations, but for our industry as well. It's not a side project, not an afterthought. It's not something that we'll just get to when things slow down. We need to invest into training, into mentorship, into apprenticeship, and the technician-centered education that meets people where they are and prepares them for the realities in the field. We need to show young professionals that this industry isn't about assets in the ground, steel in the ground. It's about safety. It's about reliability. It's about environmental protection. And it's a kind of a technical problem solving that truly, really matters. We need to build pathways for the veterans, for tradespeople, for community college students, for anyone, irregardless education or not. who wants a career and purpose with impact. And we need to make sure that the knowledge held by today's experts doesn't disappear, especially when they retire and hang up their hard hats or they put away their briefcase. Because that experience, when it's gone, it's totally gone. So the future of corrosion control and pipeline integrity depends on people who bring into this industry today, not next year, not 5 years from now, today. So to close out this broadcast, I want to challenge every operator, every leader, every educator, and every professional who's watching this. You need to be part of the solution. You need to teach, you need to mentor, you need to recruit, you need to support. Please help build a workforce that will protect the infrastructure we all rely on. Because the next generation isn't just the future of this industry. They're the future of its safety, its reliability, and its integrity. So thank you for joining me here at the GPA-Midstream Technical Conference in Dallas, Texas. This has been a Coatings Talk live stream, and I'll definitely see you on the next broadcast. Thank you, everybody.